What's up, guys? Justin with Bite and Fight Angler, and I had told a couple people I was going to make a video about surf fishing and how I surf fish, so let's get right into it. So the rig that I like to use whenever I'm using live shrimp, because that is my bait of choice whenever fishing in the surf. So this is the rig. Let me show you first. Just any bait caster or spinning reel, just like you would use inshore. I use a medium light rod with a bait caster, custom light. It'll handle anything that you catch out there. There's no need to go overboard and, there's no need to go overboard and try to, go out there with the heaviest gear and all that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people think since it's salt water, you're gonna catch bigger fish and all this stuff. They got teeth. Same setups that I use for inshore, I just use a different rig. So these are two bullet weight split shots. Each one of those is a 1/16 ounce. So I have a total of 1/8 ounce. Typically I would use an 1/8 ounce split shot, but I didn't have one with me, so that's what I had in the tackle box, so that's what got used. And a size 8 treble hook. You can go down to size 10. I wouldn't go much bigger than a size 8. Personally, I like the size 8. I'll put those split shots about 8 to 12 inches above above my hook, depending on if I need to, feel like I need to get it down further or whatever, I'll push it down. But typically 8 to 12 inches above the hook works for me. The reason I use a smaller hook is, from my experience, my shrimp lasts longer. When you use a smaller or a lighter hook, it will actually let your shrimp swim more freely. Whenever you put that big hook in them, it weighs that shrimp down, and that shrimp's trying to carry the weight of that hook around, and it will die quicker. Now, I know a size 8 treble hook seems like a small hook, but I've caught multiple fish on this hook right here. And being a treble hook, you usually get a better hook on them. So trust me, I wouldn't tell you if I haven't used it, and with my experience, this is my favorite hook. This is the one I always use for live shrimp. The way I rig the live shrimp is I hook it right behind the horn in the head. I'll hook it underneath the horn. Just try to miss on whenever you look at a shrimp, you'll see a little black spot. Don't stick it in that black spot. That's their brain, supposedly. So if you do that, your shrimp will die a lot sooner. So this is the rig that I like to use if I'm using live shrimp. And there is other ways that you can fish the surf, and I'll touch on those right now. If I'm by myself, I'm more than likely going to be throwing a soft plastic. This is a haymaker. I have it in the 3.5 inch and the 3 inch size. You can use bright colors, natural colors. You can take a whole pocket full of baits out there and see which one they hit. So soft plastics is one of the main things that I throw out there in the surf. I like to use an 1/8 ounce or a 1/4 ounce to a 3/8 ounce jig head, depending on if I feel like I'm in the zone or if I need to get deeper or whatever. I'll change the jig head out if I need to, but more than likely, if you see me by myself, I'm throwing a soft plastic. My number 2 or my number 3, if I'm not using live shrimp and I don't want to throw a soft plastic, or I've thrown a soft plastic and they're not hitting it, this is the third thing I'm going to use, and most of the time this will get them. This right here is a 1/4 ounce spoon. This is rigged up for when we were at the surf the other day. This is a 1/4 ounce spoon. It's made like a Castmaster. It's a Johnson spoon. I like this style. You have more styles. Something like this. You can throw these. I like these because they're a little bit more compact. You can see the size difference. This is a 1/4 ounce, so the more you go up, if you go up to a 3/8 or a 1/2 ounce, they're gonna get a little bit bigger than this, but they're not gonna ever get this big. This one, This one here is, it doesn't say on it, but I would guess that it's a 3/8. I don't think that's a 1/2 ounce, but I would think that this is a 3/8 to a 1/2 ounce. I don't know which one, but this is a Flutter Spoon. I like using these kind of spoons if I'm fishing deeper water and I want to flutter it. When I'm fishing this spoon, you can flutter this spoon as well. It doesn't flutter quite as good, but you can just straight retrieve this one and it has a crazy good action. So you can either cast it and just cast and reel, or you can twitch it a little bit, give it some action. One thing I do recommend is having a barrel swivel on it. I know a lot of people tie the barrel swivel to their line and then they'll tie this directly to their leader. I like putting my barrel swivel straight onto the split ring right here. I just slide it on this split ring, and then I'll tie my stuff to it. And yes, that is a tactical angler clip. I like using those when I'm wading. It's easy to remove my stuff if they're not biting the spoon. I just take the spoon off. And I might put my soft plastic or whatever I want to try next. I'll just put it on there. So the clips are a good thing to have when you're out wade fishing. I recommend having one. It's just that quick and you're fishing something else. So that's the third thing that I would throw if I don't get anything on soft plastic. If I'm not throwing live bait, I would throw a spoon. Another thing, now into the hard baits. The hard baits, they're gonna make rattles and stuff. So this is a rattle trap. I'll throw a rattle trap out in the surf. I like the bright colors with the flash on the side. I like those. I have this in the rattle trap and I have it in a Miradyne. I believe this is the MR27 and this is the MR17. So I like throwing the Miradynes as well. These are more like a twitch bait. If they're not hitting it like on a fast motion, like if I'm steady retrieving my paddle tail or giving it some pops and they're not hitting it, I might slow it down a little bit, see if maybe they want it a little slower. These are gonna sink slow and then you twitch it and then it'll sink real slow and then you twitch it. So it's a twitch bait. It's more of a wintertime bait, but it'll work in the surf as well, and I have it in 2 different sizes. And then the rattle trap, you just kind of retrieve it. You can let it die, retrieve it, and it's gonna just be nose down, and those rattles are just gonna be rattling the whole time that it's going. It has a motion just like this in the water, and the rattles keep it going, so it's kind of more of a steady retrieve thing. And then a heavy dyne, this one will actually let you work it a little bit faster than the others. So it looks pretty much exactly the same, but it's heavier. It'll sink a lot faster than this one. So if you're wanting to fish something real slow, twitch bait real slow, this is the one you'll go after. And if you want to fish something a little bit faster with a twitch, this is the one that you want. It's the heavy dyne. I don't know if you can read that or not, but that's what that is. It has a little bit faster sink rate than the regular old Miradyne. Top waters. I mean, most of the time when I go to the surf, I'm not able to fish a top water because the waves and stuff, it's just too rough out there. If I catch it on a flat day and I see them maybe busting up bait, I might do it, but I'm not a big top water guy in the surf. I hardly ever catch the water when it's time to throw one. So those are the 4 types of baits that I like, or I guess that's 5. But those are the 5 types of baits that I like to throw when I'm in the surf. Live bait being the most, I would say, possibly the most effective. Like if you're not comfortable with soft plastics, you definitely want to throw live shrimp. You can throw live croaker. I don't see anything wrong with it. I just, shrimp is, I just like live shrimp. It's a little bit more cost effective. Everything eats it. Another thing is reading. Somebody asked me, how do I know when to go? I don't. I just go. You know, anytime I know that we're going to the beach or going to the surf or going somewhere around it, I'm gonna have a pole with me. That way, if it looks good, I'm going in. I don't know how to. I'm not one of the guys that could tell you how to read the predictions and tell you if it's going to be a flat surf or not. A lot of times I just pay attention to social media, and you can look at the piers and I forget the name of that guy that has the cameras set up everywhere. But there's ways to find out what the surf looks like. You can call the pier, and a lot of times they'll have kind of a surf report, and you know, but you do want green water, clean. You want to be able to reach the green, clean water. That's when I found it most effective for the trout. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have on rigging and knowing when to go. I mean, you just got to kind of, I live 45 minutes away from the surf, so I can't just walk outside and see if it's clean or whatever. So I kind of keep an eye on social media, the piers, things like that, so that way I can, you know how it's looking. Or if you know somebody that's closer down there, sometimes I'll message some people and ask them how it looks, and I'll just go if they tell me it's a green light. But another thing is locating the bars. Somebody asked me, how do you locate the bars? There's two ways that you can do it standing from the beach. Most of the time the guts will be a little bit darker, and you'll see a brown, kind of a brownish line in the water. That's an indication that there's a sandbar there, and where the waves, the breakers are crashing down. Most of the time the breakers will crash onto the sandbar. In between where the deeper water is, you'll have waves, but they won't be breaking. They'll just be, just kind of wavy. So that's a good way to indicate where the sandbars are. Another thing I got asked was, how do I know what bar to go to? I don't. I have never caught. I've heard of some people catching stuff in the first gut off of the first bar. I've never caught anything but whiting and some ladyfish and stuff like that. Those are fun fish. Like if you have your kids with you or whatever, you can have some fun catching those. But if you're wanting to catch trout, most of the time you're going to have to go at least to the second bar. I have caught them off the second bar, and I've caught them off of the third bar. And that's standing on the second bar casting out, and standing on the third bar casting out. I would say don't walk past the second bar to get to the third bar without fishing off of the second bar for a minute, just to see if you can save the hassle of trying to get to the third bar, because a lot of times you can catch them in that second gut. So one more thing that somebody asked me is, will the bar, if you're standing on the sandbar, will the bar disappear from under your feet? I've never had it happen. Your feet will settle into the sand a little bit with the waves and the tide and the current. Your feet will settle down sometimes, but as far as like just completely, as far as just the sand completely leaving from under you like a booby trap, never. I've never had that happen. It possibly could have. I know if you fish around San Luis Pass and stuff like that, where there's a real strong current, it will, your feet will sink down in it a little bit easier. But out on the sandbars on the surf, I've never had the sand just completely collapse under me or anything like that. So I hope this answers some of your questions. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comments, or you can message me personally. I don't mind answering questions. I love talking about fishing. Like I said, these are all things that I say on this channel are basically just from me researching, studying, going out, trying it out, and these are my own experiences. So that's all I can really tell you. As far as I can tell you all kinds of different things that people say whenever they're, you know, telling you different things, or when you're researching stuff and listening to other people. It's good to try them for yourself so that you have that experience, because I feel like that's the only way you're going to get better and learn how to find the fish and how to find them consistently, is being on the water, trying and finding what works for you. So I hope that these tips help you out, and the next time you go out there, you get on some fish and you figure it out, and you know, throw you some haymakers, throw you some live shrimp, throw you some miradynes or spoons at them. I mean, all of them are effective ways to fish. So do whatever you're comfortable with. Let us know how you do. Let us know.